Thank you so much to Just Bent for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Just Bent is a female artist by the name of Just Bent. Not broke, just bent. Named after the band, The Story So Far. It's okay to be bent, not broken. It's okay to be damaged, but not hopeless. Pick up some merch with a meaning today at www.etsy.com/shop/justbentsteph, and make sure to follow her on Instagram and TikTok at justbent.steph. Thank you guys so much. Let's get back to the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music industry. Today, I'm your sole host. Bear is out this week, and yeah, it's just going to be me and Alex Koval from the band Incase We Crash. And boy, we had a jolly old time, just the two of us, chatting about Nachos and, things, all the cool things over there in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming up from the band, and you're going to learn about some of that stuff in the episode here. So let's just get on to it. And welcome back to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? Podcast about life in the music industry. Today, we have Alex Koval from Incase We Crash. Incase We Crash is a pop punk band based out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and New York, right?
Yeah, Syracuse, New York, to be exact. What's going on, people?
Nice. They've been pounding the pavement, delivering you some ear candy for the past few years. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Talk to chat.
Yeah,
how are you today?
I'm doing good. Other than, like I said, we were talking a little bit earlier as the people watching, listening. Bear is not with us today. He had to work late. He had some other priorities that had to take precedence, and we just couldn't not do this. We had to be here for it. So we're gonna move on with Bear's spirit in our hearts. How's your day been?
Dude, it's been busy. I've been switching between work and doing things for the band, and
Sure.
It's kind of I had a bunch of work training that's had a weird schedule, so I had to
Okay.
jump around in between it, but doing good, productive.
Good. Yeah, we the last few days have been pretty productive. I was up until 2 a.m. last night, which is very late for me because I'm an elder emo now. So 2 a.m. pretty late.
Yeah, I'll be getting there soon. I don't know what classifies elder emo at this point, because I'm this weird generation that's in between millennials and Gen Z. So it's I can relate to both.
Right. I am at the level of I used to work at Hot Topic when it was still scary. So that's the elder. I think at that point, I don't know if, because there's so many people now that take on that mantle of elder emo, and that's just kind of they're oh, I'm elder emo. I'm well, you're 25. I don't know if you're elder anything yet.
It's I don't know if I can classify myself as that, because I didn't really exactly grow up in MCR. For me, it was more the Tumblr cardboard sign pop punk era. So it was early 2010s when I was in high school.
Hey man, that's still tight. That's still that's a good time to come on board. I was part of the Dickies generation, so I'm actually wearing Dickie pants right now. It's my.
But I have literally a Dickies jacket in my closet that I wore today. So
there you go. I bought a pair of Dickies for one of our TikTok videos because I was I'm gonna be funny. It was for the When We Were Young festival. All that hype that was for it, and I was well, I'm gonna dress the way I did, and I'll make a funny video dressing the way I did back when these bands were popular. and I remembered why I always wore them, because they're comfortable as shit. And
Oh, yeah.
so now I just wear them again.
Yeah, comfortable is like important, especially like I don't know, for somebody like me who's like a musician on the road, or when we have a chance to do it. Last 2 years, like it wasn't really a thing, but right now we're like stoked to actually get back into it.
Oh
And
yeah.
now at least it's a lot more like certain, so we can actually plan things and think like, okay, most likely this is not going to actually get canceled or something.
Right. So is it everything like opening back up and stuff again? Because I know in Canada you guys did another lockdown recently, didn't you?
Yeah, and then they kind of shifted the thing rapidly. So it was like in in like January, we still had like indoor dining closed. We had no shows and everything. But in March, now everything's gone. Like there's no mask mandates, there's no vaccine requirements anywhere, which is like drastic move for like Canada compared to what it was before. They
Right.
kind of did a 180.
Yeah, I mean, we're over in America, so like we just have a whole bunch of butthurt people, and they're like, give them what they want.
Yeah, but for you,
Give them
it's
what they
like
want.
I think it's like here, it's like in Toronto, there's literally like over 90% of people that are fully vaccinated. So it's
Right.
not, there's no reason to really keep
Yeah.
the restrictions for vaccinations. It's like, it's not,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right. You guys got your shit together for sure. I feel that. So okay, my first question for you is, so Incase We Crash started in about 2017 with the Constantly Changing EP, followed by the No Education EP a year later. You joined the band, however, in 2019.
Yeah, so
how'd you start working with them?
so it's actually the band actually started in 2015. 2017 was, so 2015 was when Simon like started and kind of just like established the name, and ever since was jamming with people, maybe playing some local shows. But 2017, you're right, is when the first music came out.
Okay, sure.
Came out because at that time Simon was like right out of high school and stuff. But 2017 is actually when I met Simon, because I just played in a bunch of local bands, and I met him because he was just kind of super active in the scene, and he was just like hanging out at shows, like at the pop punk shows, like Neck Deep, Stage Amps, whatever, just talking about Incase We Crash, or like hanging out stickers or whatever, just getting the name out.
Right.
And then we kind of became friends, and then he filled in for my old band, which was called Carried Away. We're not really like active right now, but
sure.
And we like toured a little bit together. And like we became friends, and then original member left Incase We Crash, which was original bassist actually of the band, Anthony, and Simon. And what's funny is me and Simon wanted to write songs together already, and we've been like, oh, let's like maybe we'll start a side project or something. And we had some songs kind of like written. And then when Anthony left, Simon was like, why don't you just join the band? And we just write.
It just worked out.
Band. Yeah, and it just worked out. And at that time, my old band kind of like fell kind of apart. Like people had other priorities, and I wanted to do it more like seriously full time. So it kind of like all had good timing and worked out.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, then you didn't, it works out, and you didn't actually have to make like a side project, and because side projects are a funny thing, I feel, and Bear and me have talked about this a few different times, but it's such a hard thing to do, because you're like, well, it's a side project, so I'm obviously still like it, and I want to take my time on that, but then it's like, okay, but that time takes away from your main project, and it's like, how do you balance the two? And it's a tough way to do it. It's a tough game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we've been even trying to like with my old bandmate, maybe we'll like put out some more songs and just like as a side thing, because like she doesn't want to do it full time anyway. But it would be just like fun.
Yeah.
But we can't seem to find the time for it, because I'm like I have to do so much stuff for Incase We Crash right now.
Right.
And and I relate what you're talking about. It's hard to do a side project when you're already doing so much for.
Right, because I had started a side project, which is almost more of my number one project now. We started that during the pandemic, and I just wanted to write more like aggressive type music. So it's like it was just something I was only planning on doing a little bit, and then my like main band pretty much just ceased doing things. So I was like, well, I got this at least, and so this is number one, I guess now. So that works out.
No, yeah, and for me, like, Incase We Crash was originally, I thought of it was like as a side project, but then like it became number one really quickly. And like even before this, like the reason I wanted to join right away is because like I was already like a huge fan of like Simon and his songwriting, and just like him as a person. He's a really cool dude, and it just kind of, it's kind of like, as you said, it wasn't really a question of me joining or not. Like we already had the answer, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you were already kind of working together, so it was like, well, here we are. Let's just do this instead, which works.
Yeah, and I think we have like each of us have like, we kind of have the opposite personalities, but in a way that it works really well together in the band.
Right, and that's usually like when you have two different like perspectives on things, it helps like lock things in.
Yeah, exactly, because like he helps us like stay organized and like produce our music and all that stuff really well, and like I often just kind of like talk to people and just try to entertain and connect with everyone, which is like equally important.
Absolutely, you need to have those in every band I've ever been in. I never was actually the talker or anything. I always had other people like that were way better at it, because to be honest, I'm pretty awkward and like nervous when I talk to people. That's why even just doing the one-on-one interview today, I was like, oh boy.
I'm like more awkward than Simon, but it like kind of worked out that in our old bands, like before I joined, both me and Simon were like that one person who does everything.
Yes.
And then when we came in one band together, we were like, oh, we're so stoked that we can just split it in half, and like some responsibilities are me, some responsibilities are you. Like I just plan all the marketing stuff kind of for the band, and Simon like records the music, because I don't have the patience to produce music. I don't know how he does it. Like,
it's a lot,
especially mixing and all of that. I like performing a lot, but like I just don't, like I too like ADHD. I don't have the patience to like actually learn producing really well.
To sit there for 10, 15, 20 plus hours just listening to the same thing over and over, trying to like I'm gonna add this EQ here. Like I can't do that either.
And it's just in songwriting, even the way like having that perspective, bigger perspective on the song, the way even Simon can, because I always get like, you always get caught up in your individual parts. For me, like that's guitar parts or something, but you gotta like look and see what's the best for the song, and Simon can do that really well.
That's awesome. Yeah, because that's kind of why me and Bear got together and started, working on this together. Is we both were the same sort of deal. Like we were both the main number one person in our respective bands, and it was like, well, if we work together on a project, we should be able to take it even further. That's the theory anyway.
Yeah.
So since joining Incase We Crash, you guys released 8 singles, 2 EPs. Do you have plans to release a full length in the future, or plan on continue releasing music the same way?
I mean, I don't want to really talk about it that much, but you'll see what's coming really soon. I'll just tell that it's not going to be just single, that we definitely have a collection of songs that are
Is it a greatest hits album already?
That are meant to be played in successive order.
There you go.
So I won't tell how many songs. Let's just put it that way.
That's fair. You should take the route of what was it, Reggie and the Full Effect, and they named like one of their albums the greatest hits of like the 1980s or something like that.
Yeah, I think you'll find out really soon, because we're shooting a music video literally like on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, right on. I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to see it. Everything you guys put out's really good. So
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Of
And like
course,
honestly,
yeah.
honestly, it's been really cool to kind of see people like support in the past few years and kind of people actually digging it. Because
Yeah.
it's like when we went in 2019, when we went in this pandemic, we kind of had like maybe like 2,000 listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And then we released the whole Soul Paint EP after, and that's what most people know us from. At least what I asked, they always discovered us from like Garden or Soul Paint
Yeah.
or something like that. So because it was in the pandemic, we had no idea what's gonna happen, and we grew so much, kind of. And we
Right.
kind of like
Yeah.
and like pandemic, I think, really forced us to learn to promote ourselves online because we had no other choice.
That's the way it was for everyone. That actually
Yeah,
really leads into my next thing I was going to kind of ask you about, because you guys have trended and gone viral a few different times on TikTok since, because of the pandemic and everything, how you are forced to relearn how to promote yourself in a completely
yeah,
different way, which
yeah.
is social media. What do you feel is the most important social media for a band or artist to currently focus their time on?
Um, Honestly, right now, I would say it's going to be TikTok and Instagram, like just as the
Absolutely.
two, but they work to me, they work together
Yeah.
because TikTok is more like it gives you pretty big awareness,
Hmm.
but when you post, it's not exactly like targeted. But then like Instagram is a lot better for reaching your like actual fans and
Yeah, your
talking to them.
demographic.
So like if like people on TikTok like you and stuff, they usually follow you on Instagram anyway. And
Hmm.
Instagram is where you can talk to people who already know who you are. And on TikTok, I kind of try to think, okay, what am I gonna post to people who like have just seen it, have no idea what it is about,
Hmm.
are gonna be engaged with it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's weird because I mean you see it's doing what we do for, for Unsigned Pop Punk. I watch
Yeah.
a lot of band stuff, and it's all very similar format for just about everyone. It's almost always um telling who you are every
Yeah.
single video. It's like,
Yeah. Because the thing is, the performance of the video on TikTok, it depends on how it like blows up or goes up. It depends on the reaction of people who don't know you, not your followers. So how it
mhm,
gets on the For You page, it depends on like these new people who like literally have no idea who you are.
right.
That's why you kind of gotta do it that way. But then on Instagram, I feel like if you do that too much, that just annoys your followers because
Right. Yeah, you have a few different ways to be successful on Instagram, to where TikTok
you kind
you
of have.
got a couple, and
Yeah.
it's mostly kind of following trends and things like that. I think
Yeah.
one of my favorites is, in our group chat that we have, is Andy Negative.
Oh
He's
yeah, and he literally used the advice like we had really, really well. He kind of already had the brand. He was just I feel like he was just missing a few links between
yeah.
things, and then when he could figure it out. And
I,
it's what's interesting is I wish I got on TikTok earlier,
mhm,
but what helped us at 2020, so we only went at the end of 2020
mhm.
and it instantly did really well. But the whole release of Soul Pain DP happened without TikTok.
Yeah.
And what kind of jump started it was the pre-release Gardens through Dreambound,
Okay.
and that kind of gave it a lot of exposure we didn't expect.
Yeah.
And then we kind of kept like dropping a song to like those people who already were interested, and we used like social media ads at the time. And at the time in 2020, they worked a lot better than they do now. I can
Right.
tell you that.
Right. And well, it's kind of been one of those almost, it's just kind of like, it's just like a hill, like for a
Yeah,
while, like you could do Facebook or Instagram ads, and for a while it was doing
yeah.
really good, and then it plateaued, and then it was just
Exactly.
like, just don't.
Now it's just because every like I go scroll on my Instagram, every story I see is the band, and because like some band promoting themselves, and it's because it's so oversaturated.
Hmm.
Facebook jacked up the prices, so it
Yeah.
became really expensive to reach people. So
Hmm.
in the combination of that, it became like not worth it, and it's better to spend just like time posting like once a day on TikTok, and you get a better effect for free.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's social media, like the whole landscape has changed,
Yeah.
you know, especially with just like in the aspects of like promoting your
Yeah.
as a band.
And the
I
thing
mean,
is, like before TikTok Reels, there was no way to reach people who don't already know you. Like you would post
yeah,
on Instagram, it would only reach your followers, but that's not growing you. You know what I mean?
right.
There's like
Mhm.
no way to grow from that. You
Right.
had to do like YouTube or something. You had to like use other channels.
And it's all like it, and even as a band, you're still expected to be on every social media and somehow fucking be active
Oh yeah,
and have a job, you know, because
yeah,
being in a
and
band doesn't
like
pay.
and pay rent, yeah, and like all of that. This is like the first year right now after so many years of being in the band that we didn't spend any money and we're actually like compensating for what we're
Yeah.
spending. But before it was just like, you invest a lot in it and then you just work jobs to pay it back and then you try to like go on tour.
Right. And it's, you know, and right now is a great time even for like bands to like get back out and go play music live, especially if you can, because it's almost, before the pandemic it was so oversaturated
So yeah.
with bands, because you know, you'd go to a venue and you'd ask to play, set up a show, and you'd be lucky to get 50 to 100 bucks, you know.
Dude,
Not nowadays. Like now
no,
you can
just
actually be like, well, this is what we're worth.
dude, like it's like yeah, like so many bands in local scene broke up. There's
Mhm.
literally like it was a crazy realization when we like came back that we're like in our genre, we're probably like the only unsigned like band in our city who can like pull off maybe like the venue that we played and like actually like make it full, and which was like yeah, everyone else either like broke up or already kind of moved on to next level before, like bearings or
Yeah, yeah.
like obviously like rarity or like those guys. They've been kind of in the wave that was kind of like before us. It was like they kind of came like 2015, 2017, 2018.
Yeah,
They kind
Bearings especially, they kind of just came out of nowhere. Like I never heard of them, and then all of a sudden I
you know
heard a lot about them.
yeah, you know why that happens is because for a Canadian band to tour into America, it costs like 1,500, and you
Sure.
need all paperwork for visas, while US bands have to
Yeah.
like can just play Canada for free. So what turns out that these bands like Bearings, like when you guys heard about them, they were already big in local scenes. It's just
Yeah.
like you have to work up to a point where you're big enough so you get signed, so you actually can have the paperwork to get visas and actually play shows in the States. So basically it's so hard to break through in the States that only like bands who like get signed actually make it into the States.
Okay. So
Yeah.
an American band can tour in Canada now, because they didn't used to
Yeah.
be.
They can
Okay.
tour in Canada now for free, literally. You can just
Well,
cross the border and play here.
let me tell you a story, because it didn't used to be that way.
Yeah.
I was in a band called Jamestown Story, and we for a while we would go in and we would tour Canada, and we would lie because you had to have work visas in order to
Yeah.
tour in Canada. So you had to
That's
have
what
a
it is for us. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same sort of thing. So for the listeners that don't know, you had to have a work visa, and I think it's like at the time it was like $400 per person.
Yeah, that's
And
how it's about, right?
yeah, so what we would do is we would be like, hey, we're visiting friends and we are currently on tour, we're not playing any shows, but we're gonna come and record some music with some friends. And it worked a couple times until we got detained and arrested.
Oh my god.
and and it it was really intense. So, you know, we were at the border, they detained us, and it was like this was like early 2000s, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we're pretty safe type stuff. And it was like this big Canadian dude, and he had a fucking like bulletproof vest on, just a beautiful glorious mullet. And one one after the other, they called us into like a back room and were asking us questions. Like, we're like, so are you sure you're not here to play any shows? And we're like, no, we're not here to play shows. And 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 they took like our lead singer and they kept him completely away from us.
Oh my god.
And
Oh my god.
and before we went in, we're like, we're gonna stick to the story, we're just here to record. And so we all stuck to the fucking story, except for our lead singer. He fucking told on us right away. He broke right away, and the rest of us, we all stuck to the story. But like, he was so like, I remember I was the last one to be questioned. Then the guy was like, "Are you sure you don't want to change anything to your story?" And like, all pissy, and I was like, "Nope." And then he's like, "Fine," and like walks us all back and puts us all together, takes us out of the jail cell, puts us all in the same room as our lead singer, who's like sitting on the chair, like he's got his feet on the chair, he's like in a blanket and stuff. He was crying. I was like, you guys fucking like tortured this poor boy, like. and so they were like, okay, so you have two options. You can sit in the jail and you can, plead your case to the judge. And this was in December. And they're like, however, you can't do that until after Christmas because she's not back until after Christmas. And it was like 2 weeks. So we're like, well, what's the other one? They're like, the other option is you can get in your van, get the fuck out of Canada, and not come back for 5 years. And we're like,
oh,
okay, yeah. And so I actually still have my deportation papers. Like, they fucking deported us. They gave us papers, and yeah, I have them framed because I'm proud of that. How many people get deported from a country?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, especially as just a dumb band
Just that's a story to have too. Yeah, I mean, there are some Canadian bands that attempt that, some pull it off, but like we don't want to do that just for that reason.
Dude,
because
Americans
we won't
are
be able,
scary. Don't fuck.
It's like we won't be able to it's every time crossing Canadian border, like even for Kyle, who is like in Syracuse, coming into Canada to practice. Mm-hmm. Crossing Canadian guys for him easy every time.
But crossing, hey, come on.
Yeah, but like crossing back into US, he says every time they like always question him and try
to just got guns out, like, what you got back there? Yeah.
No, and then like every band that go there, they like search the whole van for like weed because it's like free here and you can like pretty much smoke it anywhere.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. And
here it's like it's American. Funny. It's funny. You can smoke weed here legally in more places than you can drink alcohol.
Yeah, but
like a lot more places.
Dude, let's be real. As you should be able to.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Like, I honestly, I don't smoke weed. This will be the first time anyone hears on the pod. I don't, but it's not because I don't want to. I can't. I get really like panicky no matter what. No matter what. I end up panicking and it's super lame. I wish I could, honestly.
If I had to choose like to give up like weed or alcohol in my life, I'd give up alcohol so easily.
Oh gosh.
I was
same. If I could not if I could smoke weed and like not have a fucking panic attack, I don't need alcohol. It's not worth it. It just makes me more fat. I don't need that.
Yeah.
So I found something while I was online. So before joining Incase We Crash, I believe your first band you were in was Minority 905. Is that accurate?
That's very interesting because I joined that band for like less than a year.
Okay.
But then I just was in college and I just had no people to jam with. And then I met John, who was the singer.
Yeah.
He's a talented dude. He's a cool dude. And they've done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I think I just didn't want to be like, I just didn't want to do the covers the whole time. I
Okay.
had nothing against it, but I wanted to be just like a live band that does. If you notice, Incase We Crash never really does covers or any of
Sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. For me, it was always about like writing original music and touring with it and everything. So I still like and support those guys, but I
Yeah.
think that's why I kind of left to start my own band at the time.
Yeah. So you still keep in touch with them?
Yeah. I still keep in touch.
Nice.
Sometimes. Yeah, I see them at shows sometimes, and I
Yeah,
want.
I think
I
John is the only member currently
yeah,
now,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
still doing really good. And I think he's got some pretty good numbers on Spotify and stuff as well.
Yeah,
He-
I'm good. I'm good friends with their drummer Spaz, who is in Arcane Ghost now.
oh,
Do you
wow.
know?
Okay.
Do you
I've
know
heard of
Arcane
them.
Ghost? Yeah,
Yeah.
you should check them out. They're super good. It's like, like the dance Gavin dance, tiny moving parts,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
We've had them on the playlist before. I'm terrible with names, but for some reason I can remember like any band that's pretty much been on our playlist. Like every time I get a submission, I'm like, you've been on before. I got to find where you were. And yeah, because I keep a spreadsheet of everybody that works with us so that we can keep all the information.
Yeah,
It just makes it really easy and
yeah, it's
organized.
a yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're one of the few good local bands here. And then there's like, you already know Nah from like Summer Heights. They're like one of the new ones too. They're dope guys. And I can't really think of like I can't think of many bands that are like new, like in the past 2 years.
Sure. Yeah, I I mean I definitely could if I really like I'm not
I
good at being
can.
yeah.
Yeah, I can have a lot of like Ontario, like a lot of like bigger artists and everything, but not in our like local scene.
Sure.
I know Lola from Toronto, if you heard of her. She's doing really good right now. She's
Who
been touring
Lola?
with yeah, Lola. She got
Yeah.
signed to like Hopeless Records and
Yeah. I saw her on tour with Newfound Glory.
yeah. And she went on tour was like Simple Plan. Oh, I guess yeah, Newfound Glory was there because Simple Plan pulled out of that. I remember that.
Yep. And so yeah, that's where I saw her. And I actually had messaged her the day after the show. I was like, hey, do you want to be on our podcast? And then she was like, yep. And then I never heard from her again.
Dude,
She's
she's
probably
busy.
really busy being
Dude,
like
she's busy, but like, yeah, she has a lot. But like, I remember 2019, she played like a Canadian Music Week show to like maybe like 30 people.
oh yeah, I mean that's the way
Yeah,
it
and,
works.
and then basically like she did a bunch of stuff in pandemic, like Lonely and Pathetic, and then that kind of blew up on the internet, and then like Simple Plan noticed her, and then like it all kind
Yeah.
of came from there.
I don't know how I really felt about like the live show, like the music, because the music live is a lot different than
So,
than the recordings.
I don't know how she even did live and stuff because she's just this girl just writing music in her bedroom, and that was like her first tour ever. When I saw her here, she was just playing herself with acoustic guitar. It's not like she has a band or something. You know what I mean?
So if you haven't if you haven't seen like her
No,
big
yeah,
stuff, so
I haven't heard like newer. Like I haven't seen her live new. Like
I mean it's
called,
kind of like Avril
yeah,
type
that's what I
thing.
thought.
She's got like a full band, and so for the Newfound Glory tour, because if you've listened to her stuff on like Spotify or Apple or anything like that, it's very poppy. Like it's very, very super poppy, and it's like not a lot of like real instruments. So what they did is they kind of like pop punkified that a bit more.
Yeah.
And they just had like a real band and just made it made it from like just the power pop stuff that she was to like the more Avril style pop punk pop.
Yeah. I actually love somebody else did that. Nothing Nova. He had this like live album stream, and where like all those trap beats were played on real drums, and everything was real drums. And I actually like that more than actual album because I enjoy old drums being just like live drums.
Well, yeah, it usually sounds better. I actually was when I went back and I checked out like Lolo's music after the show, I was like, I actually kind of really dig this, but I also really like Taylor Swift and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm a big fan of female fronted vocalists, like especially like Taylor Swift, like when she was doing more acousticy or rock type stuff before she did
Yeah.
like the super pop.
Yeah, I
stuff.
agree. I like that stuff too.
Yeah, I just there's something about like a guy and a girl could sing the same thing or the same song, and I'm more often than not going to think the female fronted one sounds better. Like with that style of music.
Because
anyway.
that style of music, yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to our next segment, just gonna ask one more question, and then we'll go to a quick break. If you could give our listeners one piece of advice that you know now, but wish you knew when you were first starting out, what would that be?
Honestly, just like the most important piece for your success is not like who you work with or like what shows you play, is the relationship you build with your fans. Like if you can build a fan base, that will make you successful and other things will come to you.
I love that. That's a great answer. That's one of the first times I've heard that. We get a lot of answers and a lot of similar answers. No one has answered that way yet. Not like that.
Thanks, man. I think like a lot of people, like a lot of bands starting out, like don't think about that enough. I think they think about measure of success as like, you know, like, I don't know, getting signed or getting to open for somebody else. But the real success is like, if let's say if you have 1,000 people who buy your merch, who buy like 2 or 3 t-shirts from you every year.
Yeah.
You're already successful because that can sustain you.
Absolutely.
And you don't need anyone else. You know what I mean? That's like our whole like DIY, I think, mentality that we have in the band.
Yeah, and that I feel like that's number one what bands, especially smaller bands, needs to focus on. I've always prided any band I've been in and stuff to when you're done playing, you get over to the merch table so you can talk to people. You get over there so people can go talk to you. You don't need to go hide. You know, get out to where people can find you so that you can talk to people.
Yeah, and it took me like a lot of like playing to nobody to figure it out. That's what makes people like, it was playing to nobody, like kind of getting better. And then in my old band, for example, I got to play some bigger shows, but like it doesn't matter what shows you play if they don't convert into fan base, and if they don't want to come see your band on the next show like that you play in that city.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%, because you could play to 1,000 people, but if they don't care,
if they don't connect to you, as a person, like from you talking to them, or as a performer from you putting everything into it, it's just not going to work.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Thank you so much to Rad Dad Clothing for sponsoring this portion of the episode. Rad Dad Clothing is a Rad Dad self-run business from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Check them out. That's enough of you. Check them out at www.rdd336.store and pick up some new merch for the Rad Dad and you, or the Rad Dad at home. Use our code POPDAD for 20% off your order. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to the show. Welcome back. Thanks so much for being here, Alex. We're going to move on to our next segment now. This is our obscure question segment. So this, we've kind of gave up on music at this point. Now we're just going to ask whatever random questions we had while writing out our interview.
Sounds good, man.
The first one is very interesting, as we talked about earlier with our a mutual friend of ours, Andy Negative. We were both diving really deep into something. I don't think it's you, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Have you ever heard of the YouTube series Everyman Hybrid?
No, but that sounds like something I'm going to Google after this.
You really should, because there's a dude in there named Alex Koval, and he looks kind of like you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued now.
Dude, for real, if you Google, okay, so if you Google Alex Koval,
Alex, okay.
you will get the everyman hybrid person, and that's it. You will not get you.
Yes, I do. I do. I do. It's
Yeah.
like, and he's in Slender Man Vicky too.
Yeah, well, so that's the Everyman hybrid is a Slender Man story, and not only were we convinced that there was a possibility this was you, is because it also takes place. It's also filmed in Canada,
Oh my god. But
where
this guy kind of looks like what I looked like
look
when I was
young
like
you,
14. When I was like 14, and then like,
and that's when this came out, dude.
and I was like switching schools, and I had like a rough time. You know, that's like what it looks like.
Yeah, that's why we're diving deep. We're like, is there any way that we can say that this is for sure him? And
that's hilarious.
we could not, but you're gonna have to watch it now.
But I mean, like the series Koval, that's like a specifically Ukrainian surname, so he has the same background as I do for sure. So you know that can explain the similarities. It looks, but it's like it's kind of like.
But it still kind of looks like you.
No, it's like it's the nose shape or something, the nose eyes or I don't know. But I can it's just I don't know. I don't even want to look at his face anymore.
we were taking like a picture, the earliest picture we could find of you, and like this one, and we're trying to match. We're like, it's so similar but different at the same time.
I'll show you. I have the closest picture. Hopefully, you can see it on my phone. I have the picture that's probably the closest to that. Okay, let me just.
Yeah, it was for all you guys listening or watching, Everyman Hybrid YouTube series. It's a series about the Slender Man, it's pretty. I honestly, while I was trying to figure this out, I watched plenty of it to try and figure it out. I won't give any spoilers, but it's like a lost film style series. There's a few different episodes of it. They're about an hour long, hour to an hour and a half long, I think. And it just follows the Everyman Hybrid, which is it was like a health group, like they were like fitness type people, the Everyman Hybrid, and it just kind of follows them around as things get wild with the Slender Man and things get scary and spooky up in Canada. Man, yeah. I was hoping so much that it was you. I was like, God, this would be so tight.
the picture that is like, if you look at like this picture, sorry, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look this picture on my friend's Instagram, this one looks like him. Like this is 17-year-old me right here. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, like, somebody needs to screenshot that and put it together.
I will screenshot it just for you. So
we've got a conspiracy here.
Because this is like the oldest picture I can immediately find, you know what I mean? And that one looks really accurate because
you're wearing the same hat too.
Yeah, I'm wearing the same hat.
I think we got a conspiracy here.
I'm gonna have to figure it out. Maybe I finally found my doppelganger. You know, there like you go. Everyone in your life, you find one. Maybe that's the one. You know.
And it's got the same name as you and everything.
How does that even happen? Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was so funny.
Yeah. Because I mean, my name is not exactly uncommon. Like in Ukraine, my last name, it's kind of like Smith, you know, it's common.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's a common last name, but still.
But still though, at the same time, it's still, like you type it into Google and that all pops up.
Yeah, like so like
in order to find you Googled, you have to put your name and then also put Incase We Crash.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then you pop up a bunch. But
yeah, I could then I pop up a bunch. But that's funny.
Yep. Everyman Hybrid. Check it out.
You see, I haven't Googled myself in a while, so I probably should sometimes.
Well, now you know what you're gonna find.
Now I know what my potential employers are gonna find.
It's true.
Yeah.
They'd be like, holy man, we got a star on our hands.
Like, is that him? They're gonna be like, is
that the
him?
dude every time you go into a job interview now? I'm like, hey,
Is
have
that
you ever
him?
heard of Everyman Hybrid? They're trying to catch you in it. Okay, my next question here. How would you make the perfect nachos?
I think that like a good hot sauce is like a key.
Mm-hmm.
I would make sure to have a good hot sauce. I would actually like, you know, because I'm in Toronto, I would go to Sneaky D's for perfect nachos. But like,
Okay.
if you're ever in Toronto, go to Sneaky D's. You'll get
Okay.
like literally best nachos you'll like ever try. And
Okay,
that's also
well,
the
so-
place. That's also the place where we have like all the pop punk shows and the
Okay.
emo night on Fridays. But our emo night has like nothing to do with your emo night. It's just our own thing.
What is your guys' emo nights?
Like we don't have like weird remixes and like DJ stuff in there. It's literally just kind of like just focus. It's like the first 2 hours they play like Seaway and they play like smaller bands that are right now, and then they
Okay.
just go into more like, you know, like Sum 41, MCR,
Sure.
like, and a bunch of heavier stuff. But it's never like rap or EDM or anything. I don't know. I've
Well,
never
right,
been
I
to
would
the
hope
one.
not.
And yeah, but it's very like, and it's a lot smaller. It's like in the 150 room, and it feels like a community because kind of
Yeah.
everyone just comes
The
hang out
only
to the same place.
the only emo nights I've ever been to never had anything like that. They were just, you know, it was just a dude on a laptop playing like the classic pop punk and emo
Yeah.
tracks and stuff. So I think it'd be super cool. I've actually been toying with the idea of trying to bring an emo night to my local community. I'm up way up. I'm pretty close to Canada. I'm in Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah.
And we don't have anybody that does a emo nights here. And I was like, I got a laptop. I got Spotify.
Yeah.
I could do this, you know.
And Toronto now has two. One of them is like on Mondays and it's free, and the
Okay.
other one is on Fridays, and it has like a local show before. And if you go
Yeah.
to local show, then you get it for free.
That's cool. Yeah, I did something like that in Kansas City on the last tour I ever did. And we played right before, or yeah, we played the show was before an emo night, and then the emo night started right at the very end, and it just kind of went to like whatever 2 a.m. till bar close type thing.
Yeah, that's what our last show was. Also, it's like we played the show and after.
It's and it's smart though. Like, and
Yeah.
not only is it smart for like the business, but it's smart for the bands and that show, because you're gonna get a lot more people to come out for an emo night.
Yeah, so you like I think in that show, like we got around like 30 to 40 people that were just walk-ins that were just came for the show before, just because there was an emo night after, and they're like, oh, let's check out the show.
Right.
You know?
And you know, that's kind of how I was thinking of doing if I started doing a Unsigned Pop Punk Presents Emo Night type thing, which I would definitely put my name on it, because why not?
You should, absolutely.
And so like, but I wanted to start doing like getting more involved in the local scene up in Duluth, because there just isn't a whole lot up here anymore. Like, ever since like my band stopped playing up here, and it's just there's just not a lot of the scene type music, and there's a lot of folk music. We got a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really. Yeah, that's like rural Ontario. If you go like off Toronto itself is more like, you know, everyone listens to like Drake or some stuff like that. But if you take like suburbs, then there's a lot of like pop punk emo listening people. But yeah, what's interesting, because like when the emo night from US came here, so emo night LA, whatever, it didn't go as successfully as our emo night that we have here.
Nice.
Because
well, that's lame, and that's just so like that's Hot Topic, you know what I mean? That's just so Hot Topic version.
Yeah. It just felt like a lot more commercialized than
Yeah.
just DJ version of the same thing. It was just like a huge venue for the reason that was like half empty, and there was no like because our emo night is like 200 people venues like every Friday, and there's a lot of like long seats at the back, but there's also always like a fit going on. Everyone's super like kind of active in it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But the emo night LA felt just kind of like different groups of people, like here and there, and they're all kind of jamming out. And music is like, like music
it's just
is
the
like
community.
And music is like you took Spotify and just put on that like old pop punk 2000s playlist, and it was just kind of that,
And I think that's funny because I was talking to somebody who's been to a bunch of emo nights, and like I said, I've only been to like a couple, and I was like, well, I don't know how to like DJ that sort of stuff, and she was like, you don't DJ, you just bring a fucking laptop and you just press play. You make a playlist and you press play, and you have a microphone set up so you can talk every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, but back to the topic at hand, though. So tell me about these nachos. From where did you say it was from?
Some Sneaky D's. There's those nachos called Cactus in the Valley, and the artist Light. She's from Toronto. Yeah, so that was like her nachos. It was named after like.
Okay.
Let me give you.
So what's on these nachos? What makes them so special?
Dude, honestly, it's just the way they make it. The whole place is just a Mexican restaurant, and that's actually the same place where they have the emo night. So it's like a pop punk venue, like and it has like. First of all, they're huge. So like if you get one nachos for like $20, they completely feed 3 people.
Oh damn! Okay.
Yeah, I'm not joking. It's like this huge platter. That's like, and it's like a collab with Light. So it's like her recipe.
Oh, okay.
Sneaky Days. So, yeah, I don't know. They just have like whatever they put on guac or like the sauces and the cheeses. It's just like perfect. I don't know what it is. They don't look like they put stuff that's different from traditional nachos in it, but it's just like how they make it. And they have like the homemade like the hot sauces that they made right there.
Okay,
they're like
nice.
Super on point, and they're like sorted in like in terms of spiciness, so you can go for lowest one or higher.
Are you a spicy kind of guy?
I actually am. Like I like it like medium to high.
I like it. All depends for me. I like it to be spicy, but there is something about like a spicy challenge type thing that will intrigue me. If it's supposed to be something that's too hot, I definitely want to try it just to do it. But
I'll tell you my favorite thing to actually cook, because I never actually like make nachos, but I make these tacos that my girlfriend showed me the recipe because she lived in California, and they're like these like street style tacos that you like put cheese on and you like close them up and you fry them, and they're like crispy. So they're like soft. So they're like soft shell, but because you fry them with cheese, what they end up being is crispy. So it's like in between soft shell and hard shell.
Wow.
And the cheese is all like melted inside.
Okay.
So you could even try. Yeah, you could even try something like, so you like put like oil and you put like meat and cheese inside, and then you close them up and you put the cheese on both sides, and then you fry that, and then you put like other toppings that are cold, so like lettuce, like guacamole or something on top of it, like after, like they would be like closed off, and then you put those toppings on top of it, like with salsa and everything, and you just eat them.
Dude, that sounds incredible. Like my wife could tell you that I am a massive like tacos fan.
Yeah, since I tried it the first time, like I can't stop making that. Like it's like
I'm gonna have to get like
I will
we're gonna have to message later.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to message you how to make those. Yeah.
Absolutely, dude.
You sound like you'd be stoked on this.
Oh, very much so. Like I'm legitimately like salivating a little bit. Sounds super good.
Yeah, like it actually is making me hungry too. Like, thinking of both Sneaky D's nachos and this is like.
I haven't had dinner. I haven't actually had dinner yet either, so I'm definitely hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry even though I did have dinner.
So the last question of our obscure questions is, so it's one of the things that we kind of have to think about as, you know, when we're in a band and stuff like that, and it's kind of, I feel like it is something that everybody in a band should have to figure out at some point. When is it too early to let someone know that you're in a band when you first meet them?
Oh, when is it too early? I don't know. You know what? You know, I think basically, like, for me, if I tell them I'm in a band after they get like a basic sense of my personality, and then I tell them I'm in a band. I think before that might be too early, because then they would have a preconception about you. You know what I mean? Just based on the fact that you're in a band without even like gaining a basic sense for your personality. And that like happened to me before.
It is just, it's so hard because almost every single person that's in a band, the first thing you want to tell them, yeah, I'm in a band. And me, my whole thing is, I try to not bring up that I'm a musician or anything like that until it's like it's just, there's no escaping it. This is you have been asked at this point.
For me, you see, like, people kind of drain my energy. Like, I'm really outgoing. I like to talk, but I'm introverted. So like, I don't want to like it's already my job to be on socials and talk to like our fans who know I'm in a band all the time. So like, so like in real life, I'm not the first one to jump out and be like, I'm in a band.
Right.
Sometimes I want people to like talk to me without that filter being there.
Right. Well, especially if you're talking to like any kind of like older person, I guess anyone that is older than us, or if you're at like a family type setting or event type thing, because if you start telling them you're a musician, they're gonna fucking ask you to sing for them every time.
Oh yeah, that's like when I'm like family dinner, if I ever like end up, that's like, and my dad like brings out the acoustic guitar or something.
Oh yeah, I get that sort of stuff too, like or they know that you can play guitar or something, and they'll just be like, oh, you play so. I don't want to play guitar. I don't want to. I'm always that person. I'm the Debbie Downer that they're like, oh yeah, here's my, come play. You want to play my guitar? No, I really don't. I don't. I'm sorry.
I already play guitar like so many hours a week too, because I'm like writing songs or I'm practicing or I'm like, plus it's different just playing the guitar for like random, or like not the random people, but just people like at a dinner or like tipsy and just want somebody to play guitar.
Yep.
It's very different to like playing your music to people who are there to hear it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. No, I agree, because that's like, you know, they're like, because they'll want you to play something that they know, and I don't even know a lot of other people's songs. Really,
yeah, that's my problem actually. Since I started like writing a lot, especially lately, and Incase We Crash, I don't learn other like band songs anymore. And like when people ask me to play it, I'm like, I don't know how to play all those. I know how to play like Incase We Crash songs.
I think if I remember pretty hard, I could probably play Crazy Train by Ozzy, like at least part of it.
Yeah, like yeah, for me, like after playing guitar for more than 10 years, it got to the level that most of like pop punk songs, if I want, I can learn them by ear in a few hours pretty easily.
Right.
Like, because they usually have like the pretty predictable like structure and
yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, it's like, yeah, I can remember how to play When I Come Around or something for you. I guess that's it. I'm trying to think of what you might know.
Yeah, I know that. I know. I couldn't remember that song like right now. Even though I haven't played that song in forever, but I even remember that it starts with G and how it goes.
Right. Yeah, because it's like I said, it's the only people that are ever asking you that sort of stuff are people that like they ask you to sing for them or play guitar for them. They're never anybody that like listens to like our genre of music or anything. That's why it's like my brother used to do that. You play guitar for me. I was like, I think I can, maybe I remember, like I said, maybe I remember Ozzy. I think I know like part of a Metallica song. I think that's about all I can do for you, dude.
But imagine in like 30 years, our generation being those people and saying to our kids, "Hey,
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Bring Me the Horizon for me."
I'm gonna do it for the simple fact because
Yeah.
people fucked with me, so I'm gonna
I
do
know,
it back.
I know.
You did it to me. Now it's my turn.
That was my turn.
I'm 65. I've earned this. Well, that's the end of the obscure question segment. It's pretty short, but we do have one more segment. And this is it. This is the final round. This is rapid fire questions.
Okay, sounds good.
You're gonna speak from the heart. You're gonna shoot from the hip.
Okay,
Just
the first thing that I think about. Okay.
first thing you think of. All right. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Definitely yes.
I agree. MTV or Fuse?
I only had MTV, so I'll go with that.
There you go. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation. I had
Okay.
both, but I ended up moving to PlayStation. I like God of War games, okay?
I've never played it, but I actually have a few of them. I'm a big video game collector. I have a lot of like the retro stuff. Like I mean, like I have like my Nintendo from when I was a kid.
I would say like if you put like Nintendo in there, I would vote for Nintendo.
Sure,
But yeah.
but we didn't. Not this time. Next question is a sweatshirt a sweater?
This is hard to me. Okay, to me, like the sweater is like an upgraded, like a warmer sweatshirt.
What I'm wearing.
What I mean?
This is a
exactly.
sweater.
Yeah, this is a sweater.
And you have a sweatshirt or a hoodie.
Yeah, exactly.
But that,
yes, I think you're like warmer than me.
I don't know. Yours looks pretty thick.
But mine is pretty thick. But if it was like a regular basic hoodie, you would be warmer.
So we brought this question out because I've seen so many people randomly recently wearing a sweatshirt and being like, "Can you hand me my sweater?" Be like, nope, that's not what that is. That's a sweatshirt. That is not even remotely what that is.
To me, but when I hear a sweater, I think of those like ugly Christmas sweaters that actually have one like this one, like this one, or
like I mean, what I'm wearing here, like this is a sweater. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great for our editor to edit because he's from the UK, and for the longest time he didn't know, and now he's going to hear even just this part. He didn't. So we talked about, because they call it something different. I don't remember what they called it. He might pop it in there because that's what he does. But now he can see the difference, the contrast. This is it. So got 3 questions left. Tom DeLonge or Matt Skiba?
Tom DeLonge. Like I have like, it's like not even a question. If we're talking within blank,
right,
general by Skiba. And I also like Angels and Airwaves now more than current blank. So
I agree. I'm first off, I'm also just a big Tom DeLonge fan. I love his books, like all of them, not even just his Alien ones. He has a few different books. And then Angels and Airwaves is just really good. I've always liked it. I remember when Angels and Airwaves was first coming out, and they were just having the adventure. Like when the adventure was coming out, I literally thought they're the next U2. This is going to be the biggest band in the world. I was wrong, but I thought that's what was happening. Guitar Hero or Rock Band?
I played Guitar Hero my whole life. I never really played Rock Band aside of like Friends Places, so I'll go with Guitar Hero.
Nice. Last question. It's usually the hardest one. Newfound Glory or Simple Plan?
Newfound Glory. This one is easy for me. Like, it's just like, to me, like, a Newfound Glory is still like one of my favorite bands of like 2000s.
Absolutely.
It's probably like Newfound Glory, the Starting Line, and Sum 41.
I love Starting Line. I love the Starting Line.
I think like our sound is inspired a lot by that band because that's like a big mutual like band that me and Simon both like love.
Dude, that's fair. And they're another one of those bands that their sound changed, but they never got they were always good.
Yeah.
And I loved how they progressed. That's it. Yeah. See, like I love the Newfound Glory and Simple Plan Question because a lot of people love to like fight over it, but there's no fight. They're both great. The question is never the question is never who's better. It's who you prefer.
It's a personal preference, but like both bands are sick. Like,
absolutely.
for sure.
Same thing with like Tom DeLonge, Matt Skiba. Yes, when you're looking at Blink 182, Tom DeLonge is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
However, Tom DeLonge can't be Alkaline Trio. You know, like Matt Skiba and Alkaline Trio is out of this world. Now, don't get me wrong. If Tom DeLonge wants, if they're going to do a Tom DeLonge featured Alkaline Trio cover album, I'm in. I will buy it. I mean,
yeah, sure. I'll
give me the vinyl. I'm on it. Special edition vinyl is mine. But yeah, and you know, I don't love Matt Skiba era Blink 182, but that's okay.
But it's I definitely don't love it as much as Blink before. It's still good that they're putting out some music that we can listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm totally okay with that, but like it just can't top what they had with like Tom. It's
right,
like,
and I hope he comes back.
We'll see. That would be dope. He was saying that, you know what I mean? So you never know what happens.
You never know, and it's okay if they don't. I can support whatever they decide to do.
Yeah, and that's what people were saying about like MCR, and then they actually came back. So
yes, I know. I bought tickets. I'm still waiting to get to see it.
Oh yeah, same. I had the Toronto ones.
Yeah, I think MCR is going to be back for the rescheduled show from 2020 in September. Back to more important what you were going to say. This is the end. You have made it through the podcast. The last thing I want you to do is plug the band, shoot your shit. Tell us what's next for Incase We Crash.
You can check out the band at Incase We Crash on all socials. We also just dropped our new garden shirts, and they're like a limited drop, so they're only like there for 2 weeks. So if you like the song, make sure to check one out and grab them. We'll probably sell them out at our next show, so you have a chance right now. And look out for new music. We got a ton coming this year, more than you probably think, so it's going to be exciting. And we will also hopefully finally play in the States and reach you guys, all you guys who've been trying to see us, but weren't able to yet because pandemic and other things that happened.
Right. That's exciting. Well, if you come through Minnesota, make sure you let me know.
For sure, man.
Awesome. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for coming to the podcast. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun being here.
Awesome. No problem. Yeah, sorry that we had to, move our stuff around. Bear's sorry that he couldn't be here, but at least he got me.
For sure. And we as a band appreciate the support a ton, and it's just fun to connect more like-minded people. So for sure, let's stay in touch, man.
Absolutely. Well, we'll continue. We got our fancy group chat, so we'll be able to do that for sure too. Nobody's gonna know. We're not gonna let anybody know about our secret chat. I will talk to you later, and everybody, make sure come back for the next week, and we'll have a new episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? Podcast about life in the music industry. And this has been Alex Koval of Incase We Crash, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Thank you so much to Emo Night Treasure Coast for sponsoring this portion of the episode. Emo Night Treasure Coast is an event on the Treasure Coast of Florida. They'll be having a live event on April 29th at Hop Life Brewing in Port St. Lucie, Florida, with special guest Dashboard Confessionals Chris Camrata. A bunch of modern and emo throwback live bands opening the night, as well as prizes from sponsors and video games such as Smash Brothers and Guitar Hero. There's also going to be emo karaoke at the end of the night. Make sure to find them on all social media at Emo Night Treasure Coast. Thanks so much again. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. Thank you to those who already are. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else you stream your podcast. If you're in the position to help us grow, head over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. Let us know in the comments below who you'd like to see on the show and what other content you'd like to see. Thanks so much.